Where is it? Okay.
We're live.
Hello YouTube. Hello Facebook. It's my companion Lisa's in Pretoria again this week. Hi everyone. Hi. Welcome to Create with Fabric8. Yes, we've rebranded because we see a future where we're not always going to be doing this on a Tuesday night because of, load shedding and all that, so that we can move it without having to say, hello, it's live Tuesday, but it's Wednesday. So, I don't know. Let us know in chat if you're here. Let us know if you're new. Guys, I'm...
on Facebook. She said it's on the time tonight.
Hello. Okay, so we are obviously from the company called Fabric8, and we're an online creative supply store, and our website is www.fabric8.co.za, and we hope to be your future go-to shop for anything creative. At the moment, we specialize in sewing, knitting, crochet. We have little bits of everything, and we are adding new products literally by the day. We have just recently moved into our new warehouse. I don't know if you guys can see, but we actually now have space to add some more products we couldn't do, but now we can again. So as they arrive, we try and get them on. We also, Lisa, do you want to tell about the WhatsApp groups?
Oh yeah, I think we have like 6 or 7 WhatsApp groups. And you can find those WhatsApp groups on www.fabric8.co.za/insta-link. I'll send it in chat now as well. But we have groups for sewing, for knitting, embroidery, knot-work. I can't even think of more, but there's like 8.
Yes.
One of them is just a general updates group, so if you don't like a lot of chit-chat, you just want to hear about our sales and specials and new goodies that come in and anything like that. So all things Fabric8 news, then you can just join the updates group and no one else can send spam or lots of messages. But if you want to share with other people, show off your project and see what other people are working on, ask for advice, give advice, and general chit-chat about these creative
hobbies
that we are into, then join one of the other groups. But they're super fun, and like this past weekend, some people shared a bunch of their sewing projects, and it's super cute to look at.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing something completely unique.
Yeah, it's interesting because I sometimes think, what can I make? What can I do? And then you see someone else make something, you go, oh, I need to make that. So it's really, really cool. It's actually, especially if you're working from home or you have your own little business, and one tends to, mine's changed a little bit because I have people working with me now. But when I was working on my own at home, it's so demoralizing almost that you are creating and you're doing things, but nobody ever sees it. And if you show it to people who don't know, they like go, oh, that's cool. But they don't know what went into it, and they don't understand the passion or even the time. So that's what's nice about these groups. They are not people who are into cars. They are people who are into sewing, embroidery, people like you, and also people who I've noticed that everyone on the group is so helpful. It's actually it's enlightening to see that people still, help other people. Because I also find that in small business, people tend to hold on to their little secrets. Like, where do you get your, let's go with pattern paper. And everyone goes, now, if I tell her where I get my pattern paper, then she's going to be able to do patterns cheaper than me. And I never get that. So in the group, I see people share, and they literally are keen to share their little secrets and things they've learned over the years. Also,
Making some shout outs.
yes.
Hello Marlies, hello Linda on Facebook, thank you for joining us. And hello Jessica, Mary Rose,
Gee whiz, hello everyone.
Lots of people. Thank you for joining us. We're here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And if you want more information about what we do here, you can visit www.fabric8.co.za/create. I think it's also the link in our bio, and if it's not, then click that link and then click on free sewing lessons in the top little bar. But you can find all the information as well as our schedule on there. I've put a little calendar on there to say when we'll be live streaming, and we always save these live streams afterwards.
Yes.
So if you have to miss out because of load shedding, I know at 8 my power is going off, so I'm going to disappear and I might come back. But you can always watch it later because we do record it.
But we don't get load shedding.
We don't
actually.
get,
Whoa.
I'm not going to say anything. We're not jinxing it, Matthew.
Man, we haven't had load shedding in this complex for a year. We can jinx it. It's okay.
Okay. All right. So what is Create with Fabric8? Okay. Well, it's obviously been on a Tuesday night up until now, and we might, as I said, be on a Tuesday night forever. But there might be nights where we change this. Okay. So what we normally do is we have a little bit of a chat. If I have new products to show, I show you new products, and then we have a quick tutorial. So I know a lot of people will ask me, oh, can't we make like a dress in the tutorial? No, we can't, because we found that if the tutorial runs over a few weeks, people lose interest. So I try and find quick, innovative, new, funky, nice, cute, whatever you want, small projects that I can actually finish in the tutorial, which shouldn't be longer than an hour. And then we also provide you with a pattern and a little booklet of instructions. These are always available on our website, and they will be available for the year. So all the 2022 patterns will be available until the 31st of December. Then we are going to package that in a book, and they're going to disappear. So I always say every live that we do, if you want those patterns, go download them all, because next year you're going to have to pay for them. But tonight there is no pattern, because we are going to be making a pattern.
Yay.
And there's also no booklet, because it is sort of a show and tell thing. I can't really write down what I'm going to be doing. So tonight we're doing, just for those of you who are waiting, I'm going to show you how to copy. That's the word. How to copy something that you've bought and like, and you would like to make more. Say you have a pants that fits perfectly, or a shirt or a jacket or whatever, or even a bag. I'm going to show you how I copy things. Anything else that we need to say, Lisa?
No.
Or can we start with
We
our
just
show?
say hello to Lizeth and Lisa on YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
And
And just for the oldies out there like me, Louise, if you want to chat in YouTube, you need to be subscribed. Didn't know that myself. So click the subscribe button so that you can chat to us and ask us questions. And normally also, I forgot to actually say, after the tutorial, we also have a Q&A. So then you can ask me general questions. I always say ask me anything, but let's try and stick to the creative things, not how to change your tire or how to switch a light bulb and things like that.
I can do both of those things.
Me too.
When it's switching up tires.
Me too. Me too. I'll never forget my very first, that's a Mondelin,
Oral.
my very first oral in junior school. My father taught me how to do a 3-point plug. That was my oral.
Whoa.
Very first oral.
I love how we said changing a light bulb,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Amanda
yeah.
just took it to
I
making a plug, just taking it to the next level.
What was that? Like Sanatubia, what is that?
No, yes.
Grade 4.
My electrical knowledge extends to changing a light bulb, and that's about it.
Okay guys, so I'm gonna little bit of a brag session. This is just some of these products will only be up tomorrow, but most of them are already up. And I'll tell you which ones aren't up, okay? Firstly, some restocks, because these you guys bought and I had to order new ones. and these are the little sewing machine pins. For some reason, they sold out first. Maybe because we specialize in sewing stuff. Okay, so these are the little metal sewing pins. The two sewing machines we had, they are back in stock. All right, and most of these products that I'm going to be talking tonight, you will find on our website under new. Okay, so everything.
And while we haven't started the tutorial yet, please leave us a like, leave a comment, leave hearts, send it to your granny, send it to your uncle, send it to your best friend. Any engagement, likes, comments, subscribe, follow, all of those things, it means so much to our little business. And it helps us grow, and it doesn't cost you a cent, and it only takes a second.
Thank you. And guys, I want to say, anyone out there sharing their unboxings, I got to say thank you so much. Those are awesome. We get reviews on Google. Those are really awesome. I want to cry when I read some of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I want to say. Okay, so this is another restock. This is a little key ring, and it has a sewing machine on it, and a tape measure, and an iron, and a scissors, and a little dress. They also restocked. They also sold out very quickly. So you can find them, as I said, everything under new products. I actually, even though they're restocked, I put them under new again. All right.
You guys will be able to see some of them if you're on YouTube and Facebook appearing on the screen. I am trying my best to get them to pop up. I've actually gotten both so far. Okay. This will not last.
Okay. And then another restock is on our 50-piece sticker packs. Okay, so these are under Pimp My Studio or under New. And they are awesome if you want to just, I don't know, I've seen people pump up their sewing machines with stickers, and it looks so cool. It looks so cool. I still want to do that, but because I sell brother machines, I can't pump up the machine, and then people want to buy a machine and it's all stickered up and it doesn't look like the machine they're going to get. So we have the cutest little kawaii cactus, and this one is very cute. It says, "Don't be a prick." Anyway, so these are all under new, quite a few different ones. We have flowers, we have butterflies, we have, what's it, luchtballonnen, what's that in English? Light balloons, no, air balloons.
Yes, hot air balloons.
Hot air balloons. Hot air balloons. And then we also have the little sticker pack, the 50 sticker pack with all the crafting tools like sewing machines and quick unpick and all sorts of things there. Then, I'm going to stick to the stickers now because these are new. They are so freaking cool. I want to show you. They are...
when you show the stickers, can you just show it closer to the camera?
Yes. Okay.
So like lean forward.
Yes. So these are little vintage, they're from old patterns, you know, like old pattern pictures. I just want to show you a few because I think they're so nice. And what is really nice about them is they're actually on like a semi-see-through background. So if you stick them on your machine or somewhere, the edge of the sticker doesn't show up completely white. But if you look at that, it is so cute. That's just one. And they are a pack of, I can't remember now. Is it 20 or 30? I can't remember. I think it's 20. Let's see another one. Look at that. Isn't that the cutest thing? So that's that one. There's quite a, as I said, quite a few in there. All different. There's no doubles in a pack, hopefully. And then we also have these. These are slightly different in that they are definitely on a see-through background, and I at first thought they weren't stickers, but they actually are. So they are very, very, very vintagey.
Vintage retro.
Retro vintage. see-through stickers. I just want to show you more. They look like clothing labels, old clothing labels. Look, very cute. And these, as I said, they actually don't look like stickers, but you have to. They are like those, you know, like see-through stickers. They're very, very cool also. Okay, so that is it for the stickers.
Saskia says she hears us loud and clear today, so I'm not sure what changed, but our sound is better.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool.
Because we didn't change anything.
No.
Terrence says, I remember those. My late grand always had loads of those patterns. I remember the patterns were in like a white paper bag packaging with those ladies dressed in the item of the pattern.
Yes, yes. Okay, and this is actually also a restock, but these are the art kitchen or fridge magnets. Obviously, they don't need to go onto the fridge. But these are on special at the moment, guys. I think they are marked down. When I got to the supplier to get new stock last week, they were on special. So I bought some again, and I'm actually giving that special over to you guys so you can also get them. So if there was any of those that you really wanted, they are on special. Or if you bought 1 or 2 and you actually wanted 5, you probably get about 2 for the price of 1 now. Sounds like I'm working for Spar. Okay, and then we lots of things still pimp my studio. We have these handy little pencil, scissors holders or little buckies. We have quite a few notebooks in now. These are really super cute. Tiny handbag notebook. And then these are so nice. I know a lot of people like this size, but we have them. I'm going to just show you like that. These all different ones. Hello, I am a unicorn. Cute. So we have those. We have some flowers. And the inside is just plain beige lines. Okay, so those are up. Then for the we have.
Can I just ask, Matthew, are you aware that you're
That
doing
was like the second time, okay? I realized, yes, it was obviously an accident. It's very difficult.
And Matthew, you really don't have to. These are all under Neo. It's one click away.
I've been managing to find all of them. It's just sometimes I forget on when to scroll and when not to scroll and how this transition system works.
It doesn't matter.
I'm
Matthew
busy
is
learning.
learning, and that's okay. All right, and we have paper clips. I think we have them in light blue and green. These are the big ones. They're about that size. So they're not the normal small ones, but they're also not those really big ones. Very nice. We've had people wanting to buy A4. I don't understand A4, but okay. If you may be doing, I don't know, small things. We now have A4 cutting mats also. And then this is very handy. This is a little sticky note dispenser. And we have the refills also. So you just lift it up like that. And you pull your sticky note off and it sort of gets the next one ready for you. Those are also very nice. And then, as I said, we have the refills that fit into this little thing. Very, very nice. I love sticky notes. I sticky note everything. We have the cutest little Prit sticks. Prints. These are awesome stocking fillers, guys. If you want to buy for little kids for school for next year or for yourself. I'm a little bit of a kawaii fan, so anything cute is good for me. We also have these tags with a little ruler, very cute. I know Lisa, when she studies, uses this a lot.
Yeah, that's like my favorite.
That's like her favorite thing. So if you have any students, this is also an awesome stocking filler. And then we have some highlighters. That's also on the website. And then These are flags, I think they call them, but it says sticky notes, but I call them flags. And they also fit into a little diary with the holes, and they are quite. What is that? Bourgeois? What?
Bougie.
No, the planner people. Bourgeois.
Bullet journal.
Bullet journal. People with bullet journals. Okay.
Yeah, I say bourgeois, but it doesn't sound very.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't
Sounds
sound
funny.
very bougie.
Okay, so we have those. We have the cutest little flags. They also, see here, it's called index tabs. But they act like love. Look how cute those are. I'm a bit of a stationery freak. Let me know in chat if you are a stationery freak. Like me. Guys, these are all under new. You'll find them under new. That's that. And then...
Matthew, can
Yes.
you just go check if Instagram is lagging? Because I am lagging, but it might just be me.
My Instagram was also lagging. But it seemed like my intent. It looks like it's fine. And to do things.
Okay, I'm doing. Yeah, I'm doing.
It looks fine.
Yeah. Okay, and then we have these. These are brand new. They're not on the website yet. They will be on tomorrow. These are cat-shaped sticky notes. Isn't that cute? And another cat-shaped sticky note. Alright, as I said, stocking fillers. And then matching little sticky notes or flags or tabs, whatever you want to call them. Alright, these will be up tomorrow. They're brand new. And then we have a restock. I know if you're doing like resin art or what else do they use it for? Anyway, I don't know. Resin art, definitely. This is a small blowtorch. We used to have them. They were sold out. We couldn't get them again. This one is actually bigger. I'm not too keen on the actual design. It's very African animal print. But it was either the animal print or South African flag. So I went with the animal print. But these are actually quite big, quite a bit bigger than the previous ones, and they work really lekker. You know when you're doing resin art and you want to just blow the bubbles? Or even for those of you who cook and you want to do, what's that?
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee with where you melt the sugar. These work very well. Okay. And I think they are refillable. Yes, refillable. There you go. All right. Then we have another stocking filler. I think this is so cute. It's a pen, like a mermaid tail pen. You know, some people are going to go, what has this got to do with sewing? Well, this is now me and my stationery obsession. I think that's so cute. Anyway, again, awesome stocking filler, or just add on if you're already buying something and you want a nice pen. All right, and then this.
𝐂𝐂𝐀𝐄𝐓 says total stationery fruit right here. 𝐓𝐈𝐌𝐄𝐂𝐓 says I love stationery. I'm so excited.
I got too
And
much
Ash
space.
says, I like buying stationery, but I never want to use them, and I completely agree with that.
I'm with you there. Or I buy two and then I use one. Like I have a packet of 𝐂𝐂𝐓 pencils that I bought in Thailand. Man, it has to be 8 years ago. I've opened one, but I've still got one that's completely closed, and it's that double-sided 𝐂𝐂𝐓 pencils, and it's got like kawaii figures on it. So I look at it literally every day going, no, I'm not going to open it. It's too cute.
Lisa K says, love the new warehouse setup. Well done on getting there. You're definitely making it hard not to pause to buy these lovely goodies. And Faye Zoon says, I love color pens.
Color pens. We are going to get more stuff. Our biggest problem at the moment is imports, okay? So I don't know, you probably heard this from everyone. The imports are being held up in Durban. Because I think it's still from the flood. And then we still have some lag with shipping from COVID, because China and those places were still locked down ages when we were already like on our like second booster shot, they had lockdown again. So if anyone tells you there's a lag in shipping, or that's an actual thing, it's not just someone lying to you. We have been waiting on Brother stock, Brother sewing machine parts, longer than 6 months on some of it. There is a shipment, it's just not getting to us. Anyway, this is also a new product. It's a nice, cheap option. It's called a protective ironing cloth, okay? But what it does, it works, see, it's like a see-through net thing. But you use it over clothes to stop basically your iron burning your clothes. Okay, so I'm assuming in my limited technical abilities that this is made from something like, I don't want to say Teflon, but something like that doesn't actually burn. But it is suggested on the website that you actually, it keeps, okay, this is going to be Chinese English, but let's go. It keeps the iron from directly touching clothes. So I'm assuming it will also help with your shiny problems that you get. That lets heat and steam through. It's netted. Yes. But this is, I mean, I think it's 35 Rand and it's literally worth it because it works. I've tried one actually and it works very well. I assume you're going to use this instead of your little press cloth. And I don't know about you, but I always seem to lose my press cloth because it looks like normal fabric. So it's forever in between my normal fabric. So those are new and I've ordered more. So there's more on the way. And then we've had quite a few requests for buttons. It seems buttons are a bit of a problem, especially the plain sort of buttons. So we've added loads, especially smaller buttons for knitting and crochet. And then we also have the, generic shirt buttons. So go have a look at them. And then we have the cutest little heart buttons that's just come in. The little heart button. And the little flowers. And these little butterflies. So these are really cute if you're knitting something for a little child. And I see they just put them on as decorations. They don't actually work. They don't actually buttons.
Marlies on Facebook says those ironing cloths work like a charm.
Oh, did you try one? Tell me. We've sold so many already, and that's why I had to reorder them. Because as I said, this is just, 35 Rand. I know it, and it feels like nothing, eh? It doesn't feel like 35 Rand. But as I said, I keep cutting myself a piece of cotton to use as an ironing cloth, and then for some reason, if I look again, it's either thrown away or stacked into my fabric again. Well, this and this horrible orange will never disappear. Anyway, so that's that. I actually think this is the find of the week, to be very honest. At 35 Rand, you can have like 2 of these at least. Okay, guys, so that is all our new products for now. We have 2 or 3 small shipments also due. Well, I've already paid the import tax and the duties on that, so. But as I said, we are trying to add, we're also getting new wool soon. We're trying to at least add new things weekly now. If you have any suggestions, please guys, tell us what you need. I was wondering about you guys and zips. Do you buy your zips when you buy your fabric? Or would you be buying zips? Because the problem for me with keeping zips is there is so many colors and so many lengths. So it would be interesting to know if you guys actually buy zips online, or if you buy that like you buy fabric. Because I always buy, when I buy the fabric, I buy a zip that matches it. because we are constantly thinking of what's the new expansion we need to do. So if you have suggestions on that, please, guys, give us your suggestions. Okay, any questions?
Some person, Nolo says, I buy zips with the fabric.
I thought that.
Yeah, that's it so far.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, guys, so we're gonna.
And a few people are saying they're buying that ironing cloth.
Oh yeah, ne? Okay, so I have a few, but we have possibly by next week we'll have more. We have I don't know where it is, so I can't tell you how many we have. We probably have about 10, 15 left. Okay, all right. So now I'm gonna show you how I copy things. Okay, so we're gonna start. My first tool that I use when I copy is called a leather tracing wheel. Okay, so this is a must-have, guys, and a lot of people, I said this last week, they think that if they have I don't even know if I have one. I have one somewhere. If they have a normal tracing wheel, it's going to work. No, it doesn't work. Okay, you need this one. You can see it has like pins. Okay, so this is obviously my first tool. My second tool is my roll of pattern paper, and my third tool is I couldn't find my big ruler, so we're on this ruler, but it's a quilting ruler. I just wanna. Everything is still full of dust from unpacking. So this is just a smaller one, but I mean, I normally use the big one. Okay, quilting ruler. And the next item I use, if I can find it, is a seam.
Sorry, what quilting ruler are you using?
It's anyone that's centimeters. The 60 centimeters long. There's a So Easy, I think. So Easy that comes in centimeters. And there is also a 𝐓𝐈𝐌 that comes in centimeters. Okay, and then what is this called? Seam gauge. Seam gauge. We have them also. It's also so made, Lisa. This is my go-to.
A seam gauge.
Seam gauge. This is my go-to seam gauge when I do pattern making. When I do sewing, I use the other one, but this is my pattern making one, and you'll see just now why. Okay, so I am going to remove Lisa, and then sorry, Lisa is now going to be there. You're going to hear her, and then you guys on YouTube, you're going to lose my head because we're going to focus on here now. Okay, but I'm going to first let's just do all the talking first. Wait, nothing. Funny enough, I had to ask Jean to bring me some clothes because I don't have anything that's not t-shirt fabric. My whole cupboard is all t-shirt fabric. Okay, so she brought me this shirt, all right? And the first thing I would do is I would obviously get this drop down. Could have ironed it, but I don't want to iron someone else's clothes. All right. And then what we are going to do is you obviously decide, listen, these are all, I call it puzzle pieces or Lego, okay? So we need to figure out which pieces of Lego do we need. Obviously this has a little bit of a mandarin collar, and it has a yoke at the back. It has a back piece. It has a sleeve, and the sleeve has this tie up tab, which is another part of the pattern. And then we go to the front, and there's a center front piece and a patch pocket. And then I'm checking to see, this is actually a a drawn-on button stand, so we're not going to do a separate button stand. It's just extended from center front. An interesting fact, if anyone knows this, you do know that the middle of the button runs through center front. So when you're adding a button stand, that will be center front. So you already, when you do a button stand, you have to add half the button stand, and then you have to add a full button stand for the back, and then a little bit for the fold back. But we'll go through all of that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this. This is a very strange pattern. Can you guys see?
Sorry, just tell Matthew when you need to sit off the camera.
Yeah, I will. This is a very strange pattern. Can you see that this side seam actually comes to the front? Very, very strange indeed. But that's good because it gives us an opportunity to do something weird. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is, if it's open button, open up, is I would get these buttons open. Yeah, okay, and we're going to start on, let's start on the back. Okay, Matthew, you can tilt down.
Let's go, peeps.
Okay, more?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. All right.
I can't see what you're doing.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to be drawing with a 𝐂𝐀𝐓. Obviously, you are not going to be drawing with a 𝐂𝐂𝐓. This is too thick. You should use a pencil with a thin pen, because this is going to, every 3 mil this 𝐂𝐂𝐓 adds, in the end, screws up your whole pattern sizing. All right, so because we're working on center front and center back, we are going to start by just giving ourselves a straight line, and we are going to decide, is this, let's do center back. All right, so that's center back. I'm going to get some pins. All right, and if you guys can see, I am now going to take this and I'm going to line up the side seams. And you can pin it, you don't have to, but I'm going to pin it so that it's easier for you guys to see. All right, and I'm going to line up the underarm side seam to that side. There we go. It's easier when it's an open button like this, because otherwise you just have to fold it all into each other. There we go. All right, and I am going to, because we want to do this bottom piece, so I'm going to line up that part of the yoke where it attaches to the sleeve, and if I can find it, there we go, there's the other part. So I'm going to line that up also. That's why I say I couldn't make notes, because it is almost like you are, I always say when it comes to pattern making, that instead of buying the box of Lego and there's a little booklet in and all the pieces are loose, you buy the Lego house built. And someone says to you, okay, you need to write that little book. So you're going to undo, you're working backwards. So you need to, just the whole time, keep in your head, what pattern part am I at? Okay, so this is what I have. All right. And I didn't leave enough space there, so we're going this way. Okay. I got my center here. All right. And this happens. It screws up like this. But what you have to do is just get something on. Oh, yeah. So we're going to start by putting our center back on our center back line. And there. Okay. So that we know we have something. There's a little pleat there, which we can sort out just now. All right, so we are gonna, let me just pin them. I'm being lazy. Now they come loose. Okay. So I'm gonna just, I know I can't draw this whole pattern in one piece because of this. So I'm gonna first do the part that I can get flat. I'm gonna pin there where I can get it flat, like that. And I'm gonna use this pin. I'm gonna pin this like that, okay? So let's just turn this out. There we go. All right. So this is where I take my tracing wheel, and I'm going to just, and lots of times when something's been washed, it sort of goes a little bit skew. But guys, I'm not going to go like this at the bottom of the shirt. I know that the bottom of the shirt needs to be like semi in a nice curve. So I'm just tracing around the edge there. Here, and this is where this thing comes in, is I am going to trace on the side seam. But can you see that I'm just tracing right through the fabric? Okay, so now I know that it was straight up until there. So now I can lift this bottom bit. Guys, tell me if you don't understand what I'm doing. And now I can use that to get the top part flat. Now I don't normally pin, I'm just pinning so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I would just do this. Go and just get that mark there. And then go up here. So I'm just going to finish this to the underarm. Go, and now just put that back there, this here. So it's a little bit of a funky system.
Lola Yanati on Instagram says that she understands.
Oh,
I do
great.
not, so I'm glad she does.
Great, I'm glad she does. Okay, so it's
That's so fun. I just posted that if anyone has any questions, but I'll say it out loud as well. If anyone has any questions as we go along, feel free to interrupt.
Yes.
And Amanda will answer as long as it's about the tutorial we're busy with.
Okay,
We don't want to lose you guys on the way.
Okay, so now this is what's happening. I'm going to undo this, and hopefully I have a pattern. So I'm going to just...
Renee asks, does that wheel make holes in the
Yes.
material damaging?
It doesn't. I wouldn't do this on something like, I would test it on a piece where you can't see it. But I've not had that it actually makes holes. But then I don't work with like really thin silks. So I would test it. All right, so now the next thing you have to think about, and this is where a little bit of pattern making or even just the use of patterns come in. Now this line looks like this, but surely that wasn't originally like that. That top has, you know, it's hung out. So when we come into...
Sorry, I have another question. Maplice asks, you don't work with the article inside out?
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter. Okay? That it? Okay, so rule of thumb. When we come into center back or center front, we are always coming in at a 90 degrees. Let me get a piece of paper to show you why. Okay, so let's say this is center back or center front, okay? And we are, like this one, goes like this. Ne? Okay? But remember, center front and center back, it mirrors each other. So on center back, this would be, you would be cutting on a fold, okay? So just to show you, only have fabric scissors and you need to cut paper. Matthew, in there, box cutters, scissors. A red one, yes. Thank you. Okay, so only that's...
Here says, I usually work inside out to be able to see the seams better.
That's good, but to me, if I work inside out, the seam allowance actually screws with me. So if I use that,
And then Renee said she's trying to make a copy of the dress of Bonbon.
okay, so Bonbon you have to check. Bonbon is but that should be okay. It should be okay. What sometimes can happen is they can get a little bit of hooks from dropping. So you just take a nail file, a very, very smooth nail file, and just ease the hooks off. All right, so if you can see, only that slight deviation that we've had there. Can you see how it's changed? And that is not what it should look like. We need it to be straight, that pattern piece. So my point is just that if I was going to use this line that I had traced, I know that cannot be what the line looked like originally. So what I do is I fix it by just making it a 90 degree. I want to just show you. So I traced, if you can see, this is my trace holes. So the line is almost, it's just there that it didn't, so I make that straight because I know that if I'm working with a normal yoke at the back, that's all straight lines, okay? So that always 90 degree, okay? Now we're gonna go to the bottom here, and I'm just gonna lengthen this again, all right? And again, that, if I take that and I draw it like this, okay? And I cut it on a fold, I am not going to get a smooth curve, I'm going to get a point. I want to show you. Can you see? It makes a point, okay? But if I take this same thing and I come in just for a little bit at 90 degrees and then I start my curve, all right? So I'm just trying to explain this 90 degree thing, okay? So look at that. Now I get a curve like the back of a shirt would be, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, for about 1.5 centimeters to 2 centimeters, I'm just gonna come in at a 90 degree, all right? And then I'm going to draw this line, shaping it if it isn't pretty to make it. Okay, what I mean by shaping it is if your tracing line looks like that, don't copy that. Just make it pretty, all right? Side seams, many times, is just a straight line unless you have something that flares like a, what's it called, fit and flare dress. But many times a side seam is just a straight line, and you can see my holes are going here, but so it's a very, very little bit of deviation. Armhole, we are going to use as close as we can to what we traced. Okay, so this is center back, all right? And remember when you trace everything, and this is, sorry, I just remembered, this is cut on fold. Okay, remember everything you trace has no seam allowance, okay? But remember that little pleat we had here? I need to add that pleat. All right, so that pleat was about 1 centimeter on the side, so I'm just gonna add it because I know this is right. But because that pleat is folded there, I'm just adding it at the top. So that is becoming my new straight line. And I've added enough for that pleat. Okay, so now the next bit, it's very funny working with a 𝐂𝐀𝐓 because my mind just says you can't do that. Is I am going to add Normal seam allowance on both patterns is 1.5. So I'm going to add 1.5, and if you have done this for a while, you can use your ruler. Just add it, or this is where this little thing is great, because it has a 1.5 measure that you can use to just add your. Okay, so I'm not going to do all the seam allowances because you guys know you just have to add it. There we go. We do not add seam allowance on cut on fold. We do add here 1.5. There we go. All right, and
are you adding all the seam allowances?
Now, yes.
Could you?
Could you?
Yeah. Can you please?
I'm doing it. Yes.
I have a delay, so I can't see.
Okay. So, and then we add 1.5 around this. Yeah. All right. And then I'm just going to use that to draw it in. All right. And that is my center back bottom panel. All right. So the next bit, and we're going to sort of do it on this side of this paper, is we are wanting to do the yoke. But again, we are working with the center back, which is going to be a straight line because it's cut on fold. So what I'm going to do now is, again, just get all the pins out, is I am now, yes, that's not English. I am going to, you can also, when it's open, when you can, as I said, I'm trying to do it so that you can see how it's done if it's not a button open, okay? But if it's button open, all you need to get is you need to mark center back. Because it's open, we can actually show you now. Just gonna line those two up also. Yeah, and find center back. So if it's a button open, I can actually do this. See? I can go and I can put center back like that. And a little bit higher. Let's just do it a little bit higher. And I can. It takes a little bit of practice to get it to figure it out. But otherwise, okay. Also, something very interesting is we know that the bottom of this, we can see that the bottom of this yoke is actually straight and it has to fit that straight top. So we know that the bottom of the yoke is on a, so we have that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to line this up. The middle to the middle and on that line. It just makes it so much easier. And I'm going to take this and put it straight on that line so that I don't have this actually going a little bit skew. And then this also needs to be on that line. And I'm still in here. Yeah. All right. And now, again, I'm just going to trace. This is actually linen, guys, and it's not pressing holes, so I think you'll be okay. As I said, I've not done it on silk, so okay. So it's just all about keeping the bit that you are actually wheeling straight and flat. There we go. Again, done. Whoops. Okay, so I don't have a complete, the line is not completely perfect there, but I am just gonna make a new line because I just tried to get it as good as I can. Shoulder seams normally straight. Neck coming in at 90 degrees. Even if it doesn't look like that, it always does, unless you have a V at the back. And here we go. There we go. And this is cut on fold. And we do not need to add that little pleat because the yoke doesn't have a pleat. All right. And again, no seam allowance on cut on fold. Seam allowance here, obviously. Here. And seam allowance here. Okay, and seam allowance here. Again, even the seam allowance comes in at a 90 degree. Oh, it's so funny drawing with a 𝐂𝐀𝐓. Guys, don't copy me. Please don't do this with a 𝐂𝐂𝐓. Okay, there we go. Yoke done. All right. So let's do, we've still got some paper here. So let's do something small here. All right, so we know we have a patch pocket. That's a small part. Okay, guys, remember patch pocket, it starts, this one is actually easy, you could just draw it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just measure the patch pocket. So it looks like 11 centimeters by 11. All right, and then what you're just going to draw it. Start with a straight line, 90 degrees from that straight line down. We need 11, and that's where the bigger one is nicer because it actually goes both ways. All right, and we're gonna just always square, keep square. All right, now next thing, okay, so if you want to write it, you can do that. It's 11 by 11. All right, if you look at this pocket, it obviously around there has the little seam allowance for fold back. All right, if you want to check it, you can, but most shop board, okay, it seems like it also has a 1.5. So we're gonna do our 1.5s there around 3 sides. All right, around 3 sides. But if you look at it again, and I'm going to try and hold it up, you will see that this has quite a big fold back. So you can measure that. It looks like a 2 centimeter fold back, but remember, you also have to have enough to actually sew. So I'd make it 2.5. So 2.5 fold back at the top. And there is your patch pocket. All right. Next small thing we need is there was this little tab that goes onto the inside of the. Again, you can measure this and draw it. So this is looks like 15. Okay, so 15. And the width is 4. Okay, and what are we doing? I have to produce Lisa.
Lisa goes to that flow chair.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's our 15. Can you see that I'm squaring the whole time, guys? You cannot just draw a line. Okay, so that's 15 centimeters. All right, now we're checking for seam allowance. On this side, where it seems to just have a 1 centimeter that's been overlocked and folded back. There's my 1 centimeter. On this side, it obviously has, it's been sewn all around and then turned inside out. So that also needs a 1 centimeter, and it seems like it's all the way around. You can make this 1.5 if you just want to keep all your seam allowance the same. All right, and there is our little, let's call it a placket. It isn't one, but let's just call it a placket. Okay, so we've done all the small bits. The only bit left is our collar. So again,
In Seth Marvin asks, do you sell those long rulers?
yes, we do. Yes, we do. Got quite a few. Okay, so the collar I'm going to put together because it's all one piece. I'm going to pin it together. All right. It doesn't matter if you go upside down or fat or pole. As long as you keep, this is my center back. I'm going to get it as flat as I can, but as I said, mostly warm clothes, they tend to warp a little bit, so you have to use your expert sewing mind to get it in this sort of right shape. It's sort of a mock mandarin collar, this, because a mandarin collar actually stands up, so this is not. This is a flat mandarin collar. Again, I've done half. I know that's going to be cut on fold. I'm going to make this pretty. There we go. It seems to get a little bit 90 degrees into the back neck. Seems to get a little bit thinner to the front. And I'm going to just check and see if that is an actual thing, or it does get a little bit thinner, but I would actually not want it to go thinner, so I'm going to just draw it up so that it stays in the same sort of, there we go, done. Again, seam allowance, right round, this cookie doesn't, right round, seam allowance, seam allowance. Anyone, any questions? Because this is a tedious job.
Exactly. No questions. Seems like everyone understands.
Good.
Unless Lisa has questions.
Yeah.
Like Lisa has people who have questions, not Lisa herself.
Guys,
Roscoe says I'm looking for that quilting ruler with a handle. I don't see it on the side.
okay, it is.
Explain why.
Okay, so you get quilting rulers in centimeters and you get them in inches. So just make sure that if you are doing pattern making and you live in South Africa, then I'm assuming you learned maths and everything in centimeters, that you buy the centimeters and not the inches, guys. That
Yeah,
would
but
be
also
worthless.
the handle is a separate.
It's a separate,
sucker.
yes. It's a separate thing, and let me tell you something about the handles. It doesn't matter which one you buy, they all fall off. Okay, they are these suckers. I once actually complained to one of the suppliers, and I told them that the suckers come loose. Doesn't matter what you lick till you blue in the face, they still come loose. And the supplier said to us, "Yeah, believe this, that we have a climate of extremes." Yes, never knew that. But anyway, but I suppose it's the heat. Our heat is quite. If you look at like Europe and all those places, they don't actually have that real bad heat that we have. But what I do is I just stick them down permanently, and I just take glue and I literally stick them down, because these, when they fall, they break, like they shatter like glass. So you don't want to take it by the handle and then the ruler falls off the handle. So my suggestion to you is get yourself, don't use super glue. Please don't use super glue. Super glue makes those white bits. So get yourself a plastic glue, or even what's that, yellow contact glue. It doesn't look so nice, but it does stick plastic to plastic. The best glue is like a see-through epoxy. Those two, where you put the one on the one side and one on the other side, and then, yeah. All right. Okay, so that's that. We've done every bit except we have not done the front. Alright, so now I'm going to do the front. And again, I am going to try and make it right way this time. So I'm going to start here, and it's center front. Okay. Okay. And again, this is much easier because we have an open, and we are going to more line here. Shirt is strangely long. Okay. And I am going to I need it to fit. So I'm going to pin it there. Okay. And I'm gonna, don't stretch it, guys. Just neatly put it down. Don't need to stretch it because most fabrics will stretch if you pull on it. And we are gonna see this is pulling. Don't make it. Shouldn't pull. It should just be a flat lay, a neat flat lay. Okay. And I'm going to do the same as I did on the back. I'm going to first try and get this bottom part to lay neatly and flat. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to start at the side seam as far as I can go before it starts lifting on me. That's done. I'm going to do this curve. Alright. Okay. I'm going to mark this line just a little bit. I don't need it all the way. I can make a straight line. So I'm just marking the actual button stand width so that I can copy that. And once I've done that, oh God, alright, we need some. I had a student once who absolutely hated when he had to stick pieces of paper together. And I go like, this is pattern making. How can I know beforehand that I have enough paper on all sides? So we just improvise. Print, guys, unfortunately, it's branding, but that's the only one that really works. I've tried all of them. Okay, so now what I need to do, just take the sleeve out, and I am going to try and get this as flat as I can. So that is there. I'm going to pin that so that I don't have to worry about that piece. And I'm going to pin there. You can see that I'm actually never pulling, because if I'm pulling, I'm distorting the fabric. So I'm just laying it, keeping that on center front, and I'm just laying it flat. Like that is underneath here. And as soon as I think I got enough flat here so that I can go in with my tool, as I said, I don't pin a lot, but you know, I would suggest when you start, you can pin. Okay. Trace this. There. I want to see if my lines are not matching up yet. So I still need to do a down here.
Hi guys, please spam hearts, send us a comment, send us a like, follow, subscribe. Thank you.
There we go. All right. Oh, and you can also, in the process, just give yourself a little bit of an idea where this pocket is, because you can draw that on. All right, and then we're done. Done. There's some more pins. Okay. That's that. I know this is 90, so I'm going to go 90. I am changing this, or not changing it. No, this is a straight line, so I'm going to change it into a straight line because it's been washed, it's been worn, it's stretched out. I also know that the side seam on the back was a straight line, so the front is also a straight line. Here we go. I'm going to come in at 90 degrees at the bottom here, and I'm just going to make my curve. Alright, okay guys, and then something else. I'm going to mark this button stand. Looks to be about 2.5 centimeters, but we need that. So just want to finish that. There we go. And then, because I have the idea, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the idea of the pocket. But obviously, again, this shirt has been worn. So we actually want, this is such a bad, this is the my ruler that I used to use when I did pattern making on the board. So it's got this magnet on it. So I'm going to actually make that to be square. I'm not going to go all skew. And again, I'm going to use this as my, and I know, what is it, 11 by 11, was our pocket. So I don't have to use, I just use that to give me an idea of where that pocket should be. Now I'm just using the real.
We have a question.
Yeah?
Natalie on YouTube asked, could you not take the neck on the yoke and use that as a guide fit you Mandarin collar?
Yeah.
For your Mandarin collar?
Yes, you can, but that's the difficult way. I know what you're worried about. You're worried about the pattern matching up. We're still getting to that. So you're welcome to try that. That is not how I do it. I use this, and I'm going to fit my patterns pieces together now to see if they all match. Okay, so this is done. Listen, remember what I said. Where's center front? Okay, remember the buttons are here. Said that is not center front. Center front goes here. In the middle down, this is center front. So if you start with a basic bodice block, the center front you'll have is this. So when we're doing a button stand, we always start from center front, adding half a button stand, and then we add a full button stand. Okay, because that's the part that flips back. Alright, so if you think about it, that flips back. And we also need a little bit of a fold back for our seam allowance. I'm going to show you now. When I do button stands, when I started, and I couldn't figure out a button stand, what I would do, and this is the same if you're doing pleats. Guys, don't feel, I would say do it the stupid way so that you don't have to redo it like a stupid person. Okay? So, I'm going to fold this. So let's just cut it. That's where we're going to cut it. But I'm just going to show you how you can actually check yourself. So that is my first fold line. That's the little bit of seam allowance that I'm going to have. And then I'm going to fold it back. Fold it. So you can check yourself. And you're also going to see why we do this just now. So I'm folding there, and then I'm folding here. I'm looking a little bit because I would do this against my body, not up here, but I want you guys to be able to see. So it's not the neatest fold I've done. Okay. So there we're back to where we, but can you see here? Now I can see that, yes, there I have a button stand back and I have my little seam allowance. Now let me show you a trick. So even though this looks like it's 90 degrees, it might have a shape to it. So when I add my seam allowance, and I just keep going for the pencil, I'm going to add my seam allowance. At this point, I'm going to actually, so this is where the seam allowance would be. At this point, I'm going to actually, while it's folded, trace through here, or tracing wheel through here. And I'm going to do the same at the top. I'm going to add seam allowance. There we go. Right. I'm just going to draw the seam allowance in. And I'm going to trace through here also, just for the wheel. Okay? So when I open it up, it actually gives me the exact sort of a exact replica of what's happening there. Now on this, it doesn't look to be that different, but on some things, on some things like here, that is turning up because there it's turning up a little bit. Okay? Yes, question?
Roscoe asks, do you have to account for a dot?
There is no dot on it, so no. If there was a dot, then I would account for it. Okay, seam allowance. Okay, but listen to me. I'm showing you seam allowance now because I want you to understand where seam allowance is going. So this little bit that we've added, that's already seam allowance. But before you add seam allowance, we were taught, and I always do this like this, the very, very last thing you do to a pattern is add seam allowance, because the bit we're going to do now, and that is checking that all our seams match each other. That throws out your seam allowance again. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we don't have to worry about the placket, and we don't have to worry about the patch pocket, because those we actually drew up by hand. We need the center back, okay, and we need the yoke. All right, so now we're gonna do like a virtual putting the pattern together. All right, so what we need to do is we're gonna fold our pattern where we are going to attach them together, and we're folding to the original line. Can you see? Okay, so this is actually upside down, but it doesn't matter. What we need to do is we need to check that these two actually fit onto each other, and they actually, well, they don't by a few. Okay, so that's why I said you don't want to actually. All right, so we know the yoke fits onto the back, and then the next thing we need to check is, does the shoulder seams match? And they do not. Okay, so we're going to first, before we go to the shoulder seam, we are going to actually take our collar, because this is the bit that has to fit. So we don't want to change the shoulder seam and then find out the collar doesn't fit because we took a too long measurement. So I'm going to put these together like that on the neck side, and I am going to, remember we do without seam allowance, right? So we match without seam allowance. And we pull this one, turn, 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 turn. Okay, so we need a little bit more. But what I normally do is let me show you. So I would pin these together, all right? And then what I would do is this needs to go on center front. So I put that in there. Because we are doing sort of, as I said, we're doing a virtual sewing together. You can see that I'm using the pin and then I'm taking out the previous one and moving the curve to match. Okay, so I seem to be quite a bit out there. So the first thing I'm going to check is, did I get the collar right or did I get the yoke wrong? So I'm, what's that? 2.5 centimeters. That's shit done. Okay, so I'm just going to check my collar piece to be sure that I have that correct. Okay, so that is correct. So now what I'm going to check, somewhere we have lost something. So that is also correct. Next bit, it seems that could be the yoke.
Amanda, don't you want to move it a bit more in your
sorry. I lose myself in the actual bit of that. So I'm going to just match up it and see if I can find where I went a little bit skew. Okay, so this measurement is right. So it must be over here, which where I lost some neck. Lost some. Bring the center back again. Listen, guys. Pattern making is not a quick job, but once you get it right, so that's that. Okay, so see, I found my mistake. Can you see? There. So, that's good. That is all good. I put that back there and pin it. So, somewhere in my, there we go. These pins just don't wanna, what is happening? Here. This is center back here. Let's just get that. Okay, alright. And that looks to be good there. Okay, and that is, there we go. I think we probably found our few centimeters. Yeah, so mince the ends. Okay, and so forth, but I'm going to just add this quickly. There we go. So that is correct. Let's try this again. See why I say you don't want to add the seam allowance before you've actually done all of this? Because now my seam allowance is screwed again. Alright, get that done. And we just do this again. You can also just measure it and actually just measure the two lines.
So else, how do you get your pattern paper so flat when it comes on a roll?
No, it goes flat all on its own. It's not, it's just normal paper. You are probably thinking on that you using board. Okay, so I am not able to find this 1.5 centimeters. So I am going to assume that that has stretched out the neck, which happens. Okay, but this color.
Yeah, asks maybe a dress or a tunic would be easier.
For what?
I don't know, to copy.
No, well.
I think the easier the pattern is, the easier it is to copy.
Yeah, but I mean, we can all copy a t-shirt, and this is, guys, this is not difficult. I'm not finding this difficult. This is pattern making. This is easy pattern making. Making a pattern from scratch, much more work. People think what they see in the world out there is people drawing a little picture, and then someone who's done this for 50 years every day at a salary, that those girls dressed in white that works upstairs in DR, that's all they do. They make patterns 8 hours a day, okay, and they've been doing it for 25 years. So they don't even just make one pattern. They make one pattern and then they mock. And then they make another pattern and then they mock. Pattern making is not easy. The easiest pattern making is buying a pattern. So this, I don't want to sound like I'm taking offense. I'm not actually. But I'm not struggling. This is not struggling. This is easy pattern making. Stop. Alright, so you have to, if you want the same top, the reason why we do this is because we have something we really like and we want to make 10 more of them. So I'm just checking myself. If you're doing pattern making, remember now, if I've done pattern making, I am drawing up this picture. So I have no idea if it actually is gonna fit. So I'm also gonna be doing exactly this. Okay, so that is my new line. This is not my line. That is my sleeve. It actually looks like a sleeve and correct. So those two match up now. Next thing we need to match up is the side seams, which we haven't done. So I'm going to fold this side seam, this one, and I am going to put it together, and we are up by about 1/2 centimeter. So we are just going to go and find the middle road. We're going to make it shorter there and longer here so that they match up. Alright, so I'm just going to change this line a little bit. There we go. And this line we're going to also just change a little bit. There we go, so we know that and that matches up. So the only thing left for us to do is the sleeve. Alright, so we know everything matches up except we haven't done the sleeve. So we're going to get back to our top, and we are going to again have a middle line. There's a sleeve. You do get 2-piece sleeves that are not the same in the front and the back, and if it's an inset sleeve, they're also not the same in the front and the back, but that doesn't matter because we are gonna draw it. This little button is gonna maybe be a pain in our butts. Here we go. So we're gonna try and get the sleeve as flat as possible, and again, we're just gonna get the center pinned down. Okay, pin down. Right, and we are gonna always do the easy bit first. So I would do this, and I would do, I would do this. Here we go, and I'm gonna mark my underarm, and I'm gonna now feel if there's actually a difference between the front and the back of my sleeve. It's difficult. This is the seam allowance problem. They are actually the same. So this is like a men's shirt. A men's shirt, the front and the back is the same. If it was a inset sleeve, a woman's inset sleeve, the front is bigger or has more fabric for this ball here, and the back has less fabric because we don't have that ball there. All right, so that's done. Done, done, done. And we are going to draw that in. This is also cut on fold then. If it was different, the front and the back, it wouldn't be cut on fold, hey? Then we would draw the other side. Okay, again 90 degree. Again, a little bit of 90 degree here, otherwise you have like this weird pointy bit of sleeve that you have to fit. All right, okay, so now with sleeves, let me explain this to you. The sleeve, because we have so much curve there, we are actually going to use a tape measure. All right, I'm going to start from 1 and I'm going to measure my sleeve curve. And because it's cut on fold, I know my sleeve curve, so it's 23.5 is cut on fold. It's just double, so it's 23.5 times 2. But because my pattern Alright, so because my pattern, if you think about that, is actually, when you work with the yoke, the shoulder seam would actually be somewhere in the yoke. This is not all the front seam. So we're going to actually use the complete arm. Which includes this back piece. Okay, so let me just pull that down. And we are gonna pin that also. All right, so now we have a back and a front sleeve, and we're gonna measure that again. Check this. Okay, so I have 47.8. 23.5 plus 23.5 is 47. Oh, is that? That's so cool when things work out. Okay, so my hole is 48. My sleeve is 47. Now, the hole must never be bigger than the sleeve. Okay, so we need to make the sleeve hole smaller or make the sleeve bigger. Okay, so I would go, because this is such an intricate three layer thing, we need a centimeter. So we need 0.5 on a side of the sleeve. I would just do what we did with center front. Remember, as I said, these things you can never tell because they have actually stretched and you don't actually. So I'm just going to add 0.5 there, and because it's double, it adds 1 centimeter, so that makes it 48, the sleeve, and my sleeve hole is 47.8, and because this is a men's shirt sleeve, and how do you know that? The front and the back curve on your sleeve is the same, so you can cut on fold. It is perfect if they match up, okay? If it was an inset sleeve where the front the back part of the sleeve would be like that, then this sleeve needs to be gathered at the top or eased in. So then the sleeve needs to be at least 1 centimeter bigger than your hole. But that is a whole different kettle of fish. If you've never done an inset sleeve, Google that. It takes a little bit of practice. But the end result is our pattern should fit like that one. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done.
Line says, and now I'm going to translate really badly. She agrees that to make a pattern from scratch isn't easy. She wants to learn it. Can you guys not find patterns? Nowadays it's very difficult to find patterns in the shops.
Okay, this is one thing that our groups of, we had that question on the group. There is an online shop somewhere in South Africa, I don't know where, that sells patterns. I think, can you talk me up so I can...
Yes, of course.
So join our sewing group and ask on there. I don't know, I can't remember. Maybe there's someone...
I remember they said also that patterns have gotten so expensive.
They are expensive, very expensive, and they the sewing shops used to keep them, all had them, but they don't anymore. So there is, you know, if you find a place that has them, many times they don't have all of them, but they can order for you. Also online, guys, second-hand patterns, if they haven't been cut, if someone's got a pattern, you can buy second-hand as long as they say uncut. I mean, you can buy a cut pattern also. The problem is, if this person had cut the pattern at a size 12 and you're a size 14, then you're screwed. So just make sure that it says uncut, or make sure that whatever size it's cut on is actually your size. All right. How did you guys find that?
Yes, let us know in chat. Did you guys enjoy that? Do you want to do more pattern making? Or has this turned you off pattern making?
Okay guys, I'm going to explain the steps of pattern making while we wait for some questions, okay? I taught pattern making, and I many times, and this is all over, that's actually a thing about the whole fashion industry, is people think it's just like, and there's the dress on the runway, perfect, and you know, it takes a lot of skill for those people to get that dress on the runway, okay? But that skill does not imply that they only make one pattern and then they make the dress and it's perfect. That is not that skill. The skill is learning how to make things shape 3D around your body. Okay, so everyone, if you know how to do a certain thing, obviously it's going to be easy. If you're making up a t-shirt, you're not going to mock it because you know it fits or you know how to make one. But mostly, what happens with pattern making, drawing a pattern from scratch, is you would start drawing a basic bodice block on whosever size, all right? Then you would mock that block. Now the block is nothing yet. It's not a shirt, it's not a t-shirt, it's not a dress. It's just a 3D blueprint of whoever's body you're trying to, okay? So the basic bodice block needs to fit, but it doesn't need to be super tight. It just needs to fit around all the curves, okay? So once you've done the mock many times, because we all measure really not always good, you have changes to your pattern or adjustments to the pattern for the basic bodice block. So now you go and you make those changes onto the basic bodice block. Okay, so now when you have the basic bodice block and you do not pick up a key or lose a K, that basic bodice block is forever. You can use it as long as you stay the same weight, or as long as you, I don't know, don't go through menopause. You stay the same proportions. When we get older, things tend to drag down and then we have to make a new block. Okay, so when we have the block from the basic bodice block, you can make everything except gloves. Listen to this. Gloves, hats, socks. But all the rest of the things you can make from the basic bodice block. Pencils, okay. So you use a basic bodice block to make shirts, t-shirts, dresses, pants, swimsuits, bras, panties, everything that you ever want to put from your feet to your, I mean, you can even make a hoodie, but that's not actually a hat. Okay, so you use the basic bodice block to make everything. Oh, I do, okay? So once we've done the basic bodice block, now we're going to take that thing and we're going to change it into a fishtail evening wear dress with a corset bodice, okay? We're going to draw up that pattern. We're going to mock it. That's not going to be perfect. Hey, it happens sometimes. It does happen. But it doesn't happen often. Once we've fitted the mock again, we make our adjustments, because lots of times with fitted corsets, we actually need more shape than we can measure for boobs. All right? So then and lots of times, especially if you have big boobs, we need to actually work in a little bit more dart to actually keep the corset up and things like that. And then we fix the pattern, or we call it adjust the pattern to what we've just done on the mock, and then we make another mock. I swear this is how it's supposed to work. And then only when that mock fits, we will buy expensive fabric and make the fishtail dress. And with practice and with experience, that process cuts down, but it does never ever cut down to a point where you shouldn't actually make at least one mock.
I have a lot of comments.
Go.
Marie says thank you. Denisha says I found it interesting.
Yay!
And then we have a whole thread on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Nolo says this is exceptionally incredible. This is so helpful. Thank you very, very much. I'm adding this to my videos. Glad you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Pat says, thank you so much. This has been very interesting. I learned so much. Belinda said it was amazing. Thanks so much. Roscoe said, awesome. I have started with pattern making. It's a dying art, but so useful. Faye Zoon says, thank you very much. It's awesome. Janolo says, I'm in the process of drafting a sleeve block from my measurements so I can use it to make a puff sleeve with a cut out and spread method.
Yes. Cut and spread. I know that method.
Riet says, are you also going to do this pattern from scratch? Love this live tonight.
Me? Did I not just do it from scratch?
No, after this. I think, are you going to make it?
No, this is not my top. I don't wear woven. I wear t-shirt, but I don't actually sew in stretch. But yeah, no, this would not fit me. This is a 12, people. This is a 12. This is John's shirt that I just borrowed because I don't have shirts to show you.
Lisa K says, lots of info here. Thanks so much, Amanda. And Chanola says, I wanted to draw a strapless bodice, so I used the method I learned from a cosplayer. I used foil and shaped it on my body, then I cut it in 3 panels and put the pieces flat on the table and traced. Then I made a mark and pinned and marked where I wanted to take them in, then translated that into pattern pieces.
Yes.
After 5 alterations, the bodice fits perfectly now.
Yes. Okay. So that is a form of what we call draping. You could also do that with fabric. So you would actually pin that bodice on you with loose pieces of fabric that you then pin, keep changing until it's perfect, and then where you pin, you will draw lines where your seams are, and then that's the same sort of idea as draping. I'm a little bit afraid of the foil method, because foil will shape But then when you put it onto paper to copy and you press it down, that is changing from a 3D to a 2D, and you need the 3D. If you understand what I'm saying. Yes. Any more questions?
Delisha said, how would I line a ready-made ladies' pants?
Very difficult. Well, you would try and trace the pattern like we just did, and aligning. Many people think aligning has to be a lot smaller than the actual pattern. It isn't. There's actually rules about linings. I don't have my book here. I think it's at home. So aligning is only slightly smaller in specific places. So I would start with the exact same pattern if I can, and then hopefully it's not a tight pants, because if it's a tight pants, and the lining isn't a good fit, you're going to get lines showing through. But if it's like a loose pants, then the lining can be it just has to be more or less the same as the pants. Guys, we have to go. It's 10 to 9.
Okay.
They're going to lock me out here.
If you answer the questions faster.
Oh, good, go.
But the name says. Okay, sorry, I'm translating. How do you know your lines that you started with is straight when you are making a pattern from scratch? I'm busy making a blouse mock-up on myself. En I can read that in Afrikaans.
Yes, please.
Hoe weet jy jou lyne wat jy mee begin is reguit wanneer jy van scratch af patroon maak? Ek is besig om 'n blouse mock-up vir myself.
Okay, so I'm assuming you are talking about how do you get square. Okay, so let me get a big piece of paper here. All right, this is why these rulers are a game changer, and I suggest that you always go with the 16 by 60 centimeter one. This is a 60 by 10 centimeters, but that 16 actually helps with square. Okay, so not using or not drawing your lines in square can actually be detrimental to a pattern. Okay, so if I can sort of give you an idea, if I was making a dress, all right, so this is center front, all right, and this is how we start a pattern. So my neckline will be there, and my shoulders will be here, and this will be there. But say for instance, I am wanting to make this dress, it's not something that really happens, but okay, I want to make this dress exactly right, straight down, ne? So if I just am slightly out of square, okay, just slightly out of square on a dress, on this, ne, it's making a 3 mil difference at the bottom here, because I'm just slightly out of square. Now that can be 3 mil too big or 3 mil too small, but 3 mil on this is nothing. If that line was going down to there for a skirt, that problem can become a 1.5 centimeter problem, okay? So how do I always get square? I use these rulers, and as I said, the 16 centimeter one is better. So I would start with a line, and then I actually use these lines, which are at a 90 degree. So I would put that line right on my line, and only then will I draw my 90. So if you want me to get my line straight, say I want a 3 centimeter placard like we did just now, I would actually put my 3 centimeter line on that line, and that gets me a perfectly parallel line. Hope you understand that. Otherwise, if I can find my other ruler, which is somewhere in this place, I can also show you guys next week a little bit on square. Yes, more questions.
I'm out, but can you guys please leave us a like? We're only 4 likes away from hitting 20 on YouTube. Please leave us a like. And while you're here, leave us a heart, leave us a comment, subscribe, follow, all the magical things. And if you are on YouTube but the other platforms, you can also weigh in and just type your answer in chat. I've made a poll asking if you want more pattern making or you want to stick to simpler tutorials. Just to get an indication of how you guys feel, because this tutorial is quite different from what we usually do. And then Matthew said he had a question.
Yes. How big are your pattern paper rolls? Can we see them?
You can, but they're all wrapped up. But I'll show you one. Okay, so this is how big they are. And remember, guys, this is not actual pattern paper. This is the same paper that you would buy if you buy, you know, Rototrim. What's it called? Rototrim or something. The A4 white paper sheets that you print on. It's the same paper as that, because I hate newsprint. I absolutely hate newsprint. Okay, so this is, how would I get this? Where's the one? There's a one. I think this is 84 about, 84, 85. But this is normally long enough for your basic bodice block, and you'll just have to add, because I mean, nobody has a table that's that one. So this, and they weigh, the paper is measured in weight. So normally 5 kgs, about 50 meters, I think. All right, here's one, but this is our shorter one. We're out of stock of them. Paper is also a problem at the moment, people. I don't know if you've heard that. So this one is our shorter one. I think it's about 70 or 60 something. But as you can see, this is the paper I use. So this is exactly the same paper. It's called Bond, white Bond, which is the paper that you buy for printing. And I think it's 80, is it called grams?
GSM.
Yes, Bond, white Bond.
Yes,
GSM. Yes. Yeah. So it is not your vanilla pattern paper. Normally people will sell newsprint as pattern paper. I cannot work on that. I have not. That's like a classfab book. I can't work on that paper. So I always use just the white paper. And also what I like about that is 10 years down the line, if you have your paper folded up, your pattern folded up, 10 years down the line, it's still white. Okay? If you have newsprint and it lies in an envelope for like 3 weeks, it goes like this really gross yellow color, and the pattern just looks like it's from the freaking 20s, and I just cannot deal with it.
Louise Tennyson asked, do you know the Letterlow system?
Lotterlow, Nia.
Sure.
I don't.
But you knew the word.
Did, yes, I've watched it, and no, it's not something I would want to use.
And then Anna Marie says, loved it, thank you. You taught me a lot. Sim says, very interesting evening. Eminem, which is different than the other person, another name I just said now. Thank you, Amanda, for sharing your expertise and skills. Love watching the pattern making segment. And then, is the white more cost effective than the traditional brown paper?
No. Brown paper. Okay. Again, some people do patterns on brown paper, and I don't know, I've never used brown paper, so I don't actually know what the cost is of that. I don't. I prefer a pattern to be on white paper. If you are talking about the block cardboard, the brown cardboard that you would draw your basic bodice block on, that is not the same cost at all, because it's a cardboard and it's hard, and it is more expensive than white paper. But I don't know where you buy your brown paper, if it's more cost effective. I don't know, I've never used brown paper.
Cool, that's
All right. Okay, guys. We are out.
Guys, we are 2 likes away.
Come
from
on,
the
give us
win.
a like. Don't be like this.
Please.
I have not eaten. I have not smoked. I have not. This coffee is still full.
And now the difference is you have to drive all
I
the way
have no
home.
spit left. At least give me a like.
Please. Otherwise, we're only going to do boring tutorials from
Yeah,
here
no,
on out.
I'm
It's just scrunchies
I'm
for
gonna
the rest
tap
of the year.
out. Yeah, I'm gonna do another scrunchy video. That's what we're doing.
Imagine. Every
Yeah.
week until the end of the year.
Yes.
It's scrunchies.
Every week. I'm just gonna change the fabric for you.
Yeah. The week before Christmas, we do Christmas themed scrunchies.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
We're gonna do Halloween scrunchies now. Where is this? On YouTube.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
I
Like.
think 16 people are watching. I guarantee you one of them hasn't clicked the like
Come
button.
on, just go
And
there,
one
like.
more thing, if you're
Yes.
not sure if you click the like button, someone click the subscribe button. And then
Yeah.
you know, double whammy. We're sure. Thanks, June says she's super keen for scrunchies. No, I'm joking. She just said laughing faces.
Okay, come on, we need to get to 20. I'm not letting you go until we need 2 more likes.
No, I
Guys,
only need a 1.
we need
Okay,
1.
21.
Davey!
Yay, thank you.
I just want to say I have the best followers.
Dis punting the
Thank
quality.
you.
Okay guys, niemand sien daai prentjie van jou nie, hoor.
Oh no.
Janet's trying to pose for you. My husband's trying to pose, but he's
I'm punting my business.
punting his business. Guys, goodbye. Have a nice evening. Bye, Insta.
Bye. Thank you for the support. Next week, same place, same time, 6
Yes.
p.m. We don't get load shedding anymore.
Yeah, well, we might.
Nee, hier nie.
We
Wel-
might
wel
actually have to change back to live Tuesdays. Thank you for joining Create with Fabric8.
Bye.
Bye.